Hey, what's up? It's Chris here from Chris's Sci-Fi Reactions. Today we're back with another Red Dwarf episode. This episode is called Timeslides. Really enjoying reacting to these episodes so far. Certainly Series 3 is been my favourite, I'd say, so far. I know Series 1 and 2 does seem to receive a lot of love and like from people that have commented. I enjoy Series 1 and 2. I just think Series 3 I'm enjoying more. Now, that could be due to a number of different factors, just the way the show has changed, or it could be anything. But it's also character development. I feel like the characters have now become well developed. We've also had the introduction of Crichton. Although we did see him in Series 2, was it? Was it Episode 1, Series 2? I can't remember. But yeah, he's been a really good addition, I feel, to this series. And I'm pretty sure he stays on now for the rest of the series. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm relatively sure. Yeah, I don't think there's much more else. The full uncut unedited reaction is available on Patreon, listed in the description below. You can also get the first episode of the series for free over on Patreon. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just get straight on into this episode.
Okay. Uphill, slight burrow to the left.
Yes! Ah!
Oh, it's like the donuts, right?
On up with 6 to play. This guy's okay. Pole 13.
Man, Lister looks depressed.
What am I doing?
You're not following through it.
I want to meet girls. I want to make love.
Well, junior angler's the best you're gonna get out of me, buddy.
Oh, listen, man, get out of my face.
Okay. But don't come running to me next time you want someone to play soap sud sleep.
He thought a glacier was a bloke who fixed windows.
That dense, can't he? I mean, he invented the tension sheet.
It's just the stuff they used to use as packing paper. All he did was paint it red and cut it into small squares. And you know who he married? Sabrina Mulholland-Jones.
Model.
How can that be? The most desirable woman in the Western Hemisphere, and Vicky Holden,
I love
a
wrapping
spotty
paper. I
little
love
gimp who
just
used to blow off
popping.
the bed covers every time we had cauliflower cheese.
He had a break.
It's my brother's wedding.
Yo, I'm in the photograph.
Excuse me, can you stand aside, please? We're trying to take a photograph.
I'm actually in the photograph.
Is it
Be your block
just
shot.
in the photo?
I'm actually here.
or
I'm
is it
smacking
a
wedding.
form of time?
You can't make trouble.
Wow, man, I'm back on air. I'm in a photograph.
Look, will you just clear off?
Look, you can touch me. You can touch me.
Squire, hop it.
I can't even punch me. This is brilliant. You're punching me again. Fantastic. All right. Okay, I'm going. I can't walk out the edge of the photograph. In Smeggin. Incredible.
Try another one. What's this?
It's one of Lister.
I think it's a briefcase.
Czechoslovakia.
Where's he here? It's Adolf Love and Hugs, Staff Colonel Count von Staffenberg.
That rings a
Where do
bell.
I know that
Von
name?
Stauffenberg. He's famous for something.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. He is the officer who tried to assassinate Hitler by putting a bomb in his briefcase.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Forget that.
Oh, jeez. Crossed my mind. That's funny.
What do you mean, like persuade Dustin off 3 million years?
How can you do that?
This.
Oh, he's going to try and create tension paper first. I
It's
suppose.
ready.
Who are the
We
other
often
two?
asked you when we...
Whacked out crazy hippie drummers called Dobbin. He joined the police force in the end. Became a
And for those of you who are interested, there are some official Smack in the Head t-shirts and some signed photos of the band currently on sale in the back of Dobbin's car. It's the orange Ford in the car park, the one with the bow ties and no windscreen. Well, we'll be back in 20 minutes with our second set, so from me, Smack, and from Dobbin and Gaza, the heads I'll see.
You crap.
Oh, and how would
Pretty
you know,
much.
Grandad? You're too old to deceive what we're trying to transmit.
You dork.
Too old and too crypto-fascist.
Look, will you just shut up and listen? I'm trying to make you rich. All you got to do is go down to the patent office and register this as your invention. It's called a tension
It's
sheet.
just that stuff he uses packing paper, painted
It
red
is a
with
bit
tension
immoral,
sheet
but
printed on.
I totally
It's a
get
piece
it.
of
We usually
crypto-fascist
do
bourgeois crap.
It'll make you a
anything
multi-millionaire.
rich.
But I'm not into dosh. I hate money. I loathe possessions. It's just so crypto-fascist.
Will you stop saying everything's crypto-fascist? Make me sound like I was a complete git.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, it certainly changed your mind later on.
What now?
Well, it'll take a few seconds for the timelines to sort themselves out, and then we'll see if it's worked.
It's happening. I'm disappearing.
Of course, but wouldn't...
What happened?
Well, Lister altered the timelines and lived in Triton, so they've
I would
disappeared
have
too.
thought that
So it's just you and me?
they would
the
have
rest of
rescued. Well,
eternity.
mind you, Rimmer's
No
a coward,
thanks.
so
Find him and bring him
they
back.
probably just never answer the call. Val.
The lifestyles of the disgustingly rich and famous. Tonight we'll be looking at the world's youngest billionaire, Mr. Dave Tension Sheet Lister. Behind me, Mr. Lister's English mansion. He had the whole building transported brick by brick from half a mile down the road just to get away from the neighbors. Now that's the kind of cash that opens anybody's legs. Gravel in his drive came from Buckingham Palace. Dave bought Buck Palace.
My duty as a complete and utter bastard.
It's maybe your duty to restore time back to the way it should be.
I told Daddy today. About us, I mean.
And how did the old codger take it?
Well, not terribly well, actually. He perched himself on top of his clay pigeon launching machine and shouted, "Pull."
For Madame Lobster à la Grecque.
What hasn't happened?
Sabrina Mulholland-Jones.
Yes.
The Sabrina Mulholland-Jones, model, best-selling novelist, and international jet-setter.
Yeah, she's me bed.
Is she like a real
Talk about
one
the Duke of Lincoln's eldest daughter as me bird.
person
Gilbert, can you
in
escort Mr. Rumour to
the
the
UK
door?
or something?
I've
I'm not
come here to
familiar.
save you.
Throw him out, Gilbert, he's a nuthead.
If you'd care to step this way, sir. A bit harder about that, speaker.
Money.
Any luck?
Useless.
What's the point if you can't use
Didn't
it?
listen. Didn't even recognize me. Just die.
What is it?
Sleeping with
don't be
boxing
afraid.
gloves?
I'm going to make you rich. All you've got to do is listen very, very carefully. Right, this is the plan. You are going to invent a thing called the tension sheet.
It's rugby practice because I'm so wet.
All right, lunchtime. Take it at lunchtime, okay? I've got to go now.
Oi. Don't mess this up.
No, sir.
Nice way he's doing the salute even as a kid.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. If I...
Any moment now.
But he's human
It
again,
hasn't worked.
isn't he?
According to my data bank, you didn't invent the tension sheet. It was invented by a gentleman named Vicky Holden.
What? And get out the puncture repair kit. I can feel, I can fondle, I'm alive. Don't you think it's incredible? I am alive.
Okay.
What was he saying?
I think that's a bit of a pity. I think they could have done a good job with that in making Rimmer human again, for at least, more than just one scene. They could have done it for maybe a few episodes, or maybe all of next season before doing that again. It would have sort of, I think, given a bit more story for Rimmer as well. That's my only issue with this episode. It was generally good. Interestingly, I didn't find myself laughing as much. I don't think there was as much humour in this episode as there has been with previous episodes. That's not a bad thing. The episode wasn't bad. I actually quite enjoyed it. I just don't think it had a lot of strong comedy moments. And I think there were a few jokes in there that I just didn't find all that funny either. Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? The whole changing time thing was interesting. Obviously, there's always danger. But more than anything, I think I found the whole depression of Lister quite fascinating. Also, that's the sort of thing that we're looking at, space agencies are looking at how to address that in the real world, with missions to Mars. How do we keep people's mind active? How do we stop people from falling into depression or worse, having a suicide on a space mission to Mars? That would be quite devastating, because everyone has their job on a space journey. So, yeah, I actually quite enjoyed that and wish they would have explored it maybe a little bit more than they did. Anything else? No. Rimmer obviously salutes as a young person as well, so he's been sort of saluting his entire life. Lister as a young one was a bit funny, and especially the scene where Lister said about Rimmer, the young Lister, "Oh, what a good guy." Anyway, let's break this down. We start off here. Kat and Lister are playing miniature golf. Lister's very much, you start to see that he's depressed and hates his life, the way it's going, and just isn't a fan of anyone on the ship. Here we have Crichton developing photos, and they seem to come to life. Lister sort of telling Rimmer what's wrong, talking about tension sheet, and that Rimmer's classmate discovered tension sheet paper, which is just bubble wrap paper. Then Crichton tells them about photos. We have this scene basically where Lister's able to go into the photo. Here we have Lister and Rimmer go into one of Lister's photos. And then he tries to throw a snowball at a cat. And yeah, but he gets thrown right back. Then they go into one of Hitler's timelines. Lister steals his briefcase, and
things to remember: stop milk, pay papers, invade.
Famous for something.
Wait a minute. He is the officer who tried to assassinate Hitler by putting a bomb in his briefcase. That rings a bell. Stop milk, pay papers, invade Czechoslovakia.
Where's he here? To Adolf Love and Hugs, Staff Colonel Count von Staffenberg.
Staffenberg, I know. I'm pretty sure that is the name of the person. Yeah, it is. Basically, July 20th, 1944, and it was the bomb. And it's here where they found, basically, you can change time using these photos, that they're a gateway in time. Causality, talking about causality and the ethics of that you can't really change things without having a domino effect. And that's especially noticed when sort of Cat and Crichton disappear. Here we're introduced to a younger Lister. And he's singing a song called Om, which is quite funny. Rimmer really likes younger Lister, and especially the song. And then we find out that it's just going to be Rimmer and Holly for the rest of time, because of the way that he had changed time. Then Rimmer ends up going back to this point, and what's gone wrong with my mouse? Then we sort of get introduced to Lister, the rich Lister. Then Rimmer comes back in time, tries to convince him to come back, but it doesn't work. Rimmer then decides to change time himself, but just ends up putting it back the way it was. And he eventually becomes back alive, back human, and he ends up dying in an explosion. Okay, so that was my breakdown of Red Dwarf Timeslides. Yeah, I'm gonna give that episode a 7, I think. I don't think it was anything spectacular. It was a good episode, wasn't bad, and I think 7 is justified. Okay, I don't think there's much more else to be said. My social media accounts, Twitter and Facebook, are listed in the description below. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to give it a like, share and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.